Hey guys, it's Brooklyn Lou the Skeptic, former evangelical, now turned atheist. And on my channel, we tackle the tough questions. I speak with apologists all the time, and I love to have an open dialogue. Now, recently, I've been hearing a new little twist on an apologetic argument. And it's when I'm talking about morality. And I say that morality is subjective, while the Christian apologists always say it is objective. But they run into a problem because in the Bible, there are many, many times where God tells people to do atrocious acts that are obviously immoral to most people's standards. Things like destroying babies and infants and women and children during wartime. Most people would say that's immoral. War crimes, at the very least, today we would call those war crimes. But apologists can't accept that God would do anything wrong or tell people to do anything wrong because they believe that the morality of God is objectively perfect. So I've been running into a new little twist on this morality. And I ask a person, give me an example of something that is truly objectively wrong, objectively immoral. And I've been hearing things like, well, to unalive babies just for fun, now that would be immoral. And you understand they're putting the words for fun in there because they don't want to address the fact that the God of the Bible does tell people to unalive babies. That's not uncommon in the Bible. So they seem to feel by putting for fun in this makes it more obvious. Well, obviously, if you're doing this to babies for fun, well, that has got to be the epitome of evil. Right? But we see some problems. And I want to go over just a couple of verses. And the second of which addresses this concept of for fun. Okay. So the first one is Deuteronomy 21, verses 18 to 21. And it says, and this is the law, by the way. This is not a joke. It's not to be taken lightly. This is God's law. So it's important, right? And in God's law, it says, if someone has a stubborn and rebellious son who does not obey his father and mother and will not listen to them when they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him to the elders at the gate of his town. They shall say to the elders, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He's a glutton and a drunkard. Then all the men of the town ought to take up stones and stone him to death. You must purge the evil from among you. All Israel will hear of it, and they will be afraid. Yeah, that's in the Bible. That's the law of God. You're to take your rebellious son, who apparently drinks a lot, must get drunk. He's a glutton, must eat a whole lot, probably really lazy. And you're to bring him to the elders who will stone him to death. What kind of cruelty is that? What kind of justice is that? What kind of morality is that? Right? This is absolutely despicable. Now, you could say, and I've heard it argued, well, the kid must have been really, really bad. I mean, he must have did some really, really bad stuff. Okay, I get it. He was really bad. And after all, God didn't tell them to stone the kid to death for fun, because if he told them to stone him to death for fun, now that would have crossed the line. Okay, well, I want to read another verse to you because it actually addresses this for fun thing. And I would love to know what the Christian apologists are going to say about this one. And that's Psalm 137, verse 9. And here we have a verse that is set during the Babylonian exile, when the Israelites were forcibly removed from their homeland. So we see they are in great sorrow. This is called a psalm of lamentation, of great sorrow. Now, you could say that these people were in a very bad emotional state and they wanted revenge, which is natural. They were upset at the atrocities that were done to them. But we come to Psalm 137:9, and it says, "Happy is the one who takes your little ones and smashes them against the rocks." Yes, that's in the Bible. I'm going to read it again. Happy is the one who takes your little ones and smashes them against the rocks. Now, this line expresses joy in the killing of infants. If the infants come from an enemy nation that you're at war with, you ought to have joy, happiness. You could say fun when you smash their bodies against a rock and destroy them. This celebrates and makes fun out of the murder of babies. How atrocious. Now, I hear Christians tell me, but that is poetry. God didn't really say that. It's a form of poetry. It was the psalmist who wrote that. Okay. So let's go there. It was the psalmist who wrote that, and it was poetry. What kind of a despicable poetry is that? Why in the world would this be in a book ordained by a holy and perfect God to begin with? What kind of sick, disgusting poetry would say happy is the one who takes your little children and smashes them against the rocks? I'm clueless. This is horrible. This is a book that is embarrassing when you consider that millions of people believe that in it we have objectively true morality. Come on, man. That is not morality, to smash little children against stones. for fun. Be happy when you do it. Come on, man. This book is atrocious and should never be used in a modern world for people to decide what is moral and what is not. So, till next time, think rational, be happy. If you like my channel, subscribe, like, comment. I want to hear from you down below. And if you really like the channel and want to support my work, you can buy me a coffee. The link is down below as well.